Hello, my name is Wendy Asbil. I manage the Invasive Alien Species and Domestic Plant Health Program in the Plant Protection Division at the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. It's a pleasure to participate in this important collaborative event. Today I'll give you an overview of a North American initiative to prevent the introduction and spread of invasive species in the sea container and cargo pathway. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge my colleague, Wendy Belts, Field Operations Director in Plant Protection and Quarantine at the United States Department of Agriculture. I work closely with Wendy on the North American Sea Container Initiative, and she contributed significantly to the preparation of this presentation. Thousands of containers and cargo enter North American ports every day. They are then transported by rail and truck to destinations throughout North America. Some of those containers may be carrying invasive alien pests or other forms of contamination, and that is why we are concerned with the sea container and cargo pathway as a means for introducing and spreading invasive alien species. Examples of pests or contaminants frequently detected on sea containers and non-plant cargo in North America include snails and slugs, various stages of insects such as egg masses, pupa, and adults, as well as seeds of weeds and crops. We also find plant debris in or on the containers, as well as soil, which is a globally recognized phytosanitary threat because of soil-borne pathogens, nematodes, weed seeds, and insect eggs. Sometimes other things such as spiders, bird nests, and earthworms are also found on the containers and non-plant cargo. There are many reasons why and how containers and cargo get contaminated. These include things such as season, pest biology, container type and maintenance, conditions at the packing, staging, storage, or handling areas. These will be highlighted a bit later in the presentation in a short video that I'll be providing. What's important is knowledge that of some of these reasons may assist with mitigating the threats at various points along the supply chain. We care about contamination on the sea container and cargo pathway because the introduction of invasive alien species has a negative impact on our environment, agriculture, and forestry sectors, and the livelihood and well-being they provide to our countries. Once an invasive pest is established, it can take years, if ever, to get rid of, and the costs to manage invasive species are very high. Countries spend a lot of resources on the follow-up of contaminated containers and cargo, on eradication and management efforts. That's why prevention is key, such as managing the risk at origin. To industry, contaminated containers and their cargo are very expensive because regulatory actions can be taken that result in delays of cargo release, demurrage charges, and the added expenses of having the container and its cargo removed from North America or having it treated or cleaned. In 2017, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service of the United States Department of Agriculture, as the national plant protection organizations in Canada and the United States, took up the charge of the International Plant Protection Convention to promote sea container cleanliness and develop alternative actions to more prescriptive mandatory measures. Recognizing that government cannot do this work alone, we formed the North American Sea Container Initiative with industry partners such as the World Shipping Council, Global Shippers Forum, Cargo Handling Associations, and others. In 2020, Mexico joined the North American Sea Container Initiative and are encouraging their Mexican industry participants to have a truly North American approach to tackle this very big issue. The North American Sea Container Initiative is a voluntary approach with industry and government working collaboratively to motivate participants along the supply chain to help reduce pest risks associated with sea containers and their cargoes. The industry perspective is very important, and the input is needed to ensure that solutions that are proposed will be feasible and cost-effective for industry and government alike while meeting the mandate for plant protection. Industry means any party involved with containers in the supply chain in North America and beyond. This includes the container manufacturers, as well as exporters, importers, packers, warehouse operators, carriers, and so on. Although there are certain key intervention points for phytosanitary checks and cleaning, everyone plays a role in ensuring that those things occur. You will be hearing more about this in Mr. Hookham's presentation. The objectives of the North American Sea Container Initiative are simple. Firstly, to better understand how containers move in North America and globally. What can we do here to protect other countries from contaminated containers originating in North America? And how do we protect our North American plant resource base from imported or transiting containers? We need to understand what helps or hinders people looking for pests or soil contamination and taking action on any finds. We've been creating awareness regarding why cleanliness matters and that clean containers and clean cargo are good business and result in lower costs to industry and government. We've been promoting the government industry voluntary approach to other regions and countries as an important way to achieve our collective goal of reducing the spread of invasive species. We've created several outreach materials and other information. These are housed on the North American Plant Protection Organization website shown here in this slide. One of those outreach materials is a short video that I will now show you, which explains some of the points along the sea container supply chain and some of the actions that might be taken at those points.
Today we are going to talk about ways you can keep your container clean to prevent the spread of invasive pests. Invasive pests threaten crops, forests, and livestock. They also have a very real impact on trade. When a contaminated container is found in port, the cargo owner, importer, or shipper can expect delayed cargo release and unexpected costs associated with having the container quarantined, treated, cleaned, or even re-exported back to origin, all at the cargo owner's expense. But by taking reasonable steps to keep containers and their cargo clean, you can help prevent the spread of invasive pests through commerce and facilitate the movement of your containers through North American ports. As a result, you may experience reduced port of entry inspections, faster cargo release, and fewer unexpected expenses. The risk for pests to contaminate containers and cargo is greatest at the packing location. Shippers, or packers acting on behalf of shippers, should put measures in place to minimize pest contamination during packing. Measures may include the following. Visually inspect both the outside and inside of the sea container for contaminants such as plants, seeds, insects, egg masses, snails, animals, animal droppings, and soil. Sweep, vacuum, or wash containers before loading to remove potential contaminants. Ensure cargo packed into the sea container is clean and free of visible contaminants. Clear the cargo staging and packing area to ensure that it is free from plants and visible plant pests. Avoid keeping containers under bright lights, which will attract insects to the cargo staging area and increase the likelihood of contamination. Avoid driving containers through manure or wastewater, and park containers on paved areas and away from livestock pens and pastures. Following these best practices will ensure that your cargo enters the marketplace in a timely manner while avoiding unexpected expenses. To learn more about how you can keep your shipping containers pest-free, please contact www.nappo.org.
Over the past several months, the North American Sea Container Initiative Group has been holding sessions with various industry sectors, not only to promote sea container cleanliness, but to gather perspective on what industry is already doing in those parts of the supply chain. What kind of practices exist and how are they being implemented? What kind of phytosanitary threats have been detected in or on containers and cargo? What obstacles there might be to implementing container or cargo cleanliness? And very importantly, ideas on what can be done in the future and how it could be done to mitigate plant health risks depending on the role in the supply chain. And using what we've learned from industry and considering each and all points along the supply chain, we'll take the information and analyze what suite of things are possible along that supply chain and what measures, alone or in combination, could contribute to achieving our goal. Because we want to come up with actions that are practical, feasible, and effective. We do believe that working together we can succeed in cleaning up the sea container and cargo pathway. We want everyone to be aware of the issue and do their part, however small or big that might be, to help in the pursuit of cleanliness for containers and cargo. This will also help us determine the effectiveness of outreach and the voluntary approach in minimizing biosecurity risk. In conclusion, no one organization can solve this issue alone. This is a long-term endeavor. We've seen great value in working together, government and industry, toward our ultimate goal of minimizing risks to our global plant resources by contaminants moving in or on sea containers and cargo, while at the same time facilitating safe and efficient trade. Thank you for your time today. I'm looking very much forward to our discussion.